Hey Diabesties, welcome back to the Your Diabestie podcast, the podcast that ensures you never have to do diabetes alone. I'm your host, Mila. I live with latent autoimmune diabetes in adults, and I am a board-certified health coach, a nutritionist, and a person living with diabetes. Today, I want to have a heart-to-heart with you. We're going to talk about something that's been weighing on all of our minds heavily lately, and it's finding hope when you're feeling hopeless. The world feels pretty intense right now. There's so much happening, especially here in the United States, and for those of us living with disabilities, it can feel overwhelming. It's like we're constantly fighting. We fight with our condition. We fight for access to healthcare. We fight for fair treatment. Keeping up with the demands of the chronic illnesses we have to take care of to keep ourselves productive members of this capitalist society. And that's on top of everything else going on. And it's exhausting. Frankly, it feels downright unfair. And it's okay to acknowledge that it's hard. None of us have to be perfect. Let's be honest, diabetes burnout is so real. It sneaks up on you, and before you know it, you're exhausted. You're physically and mentally and emotionally. You're doing everything you can, and it still feels like it's never enough. If you've been feeling that way, I see you and I hear you, and you're not alone, because that's what this podcast is all about. Knowing that you are not the only one. There have been times where I felt completely hopeless. I'm going to talk about depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts in this next segment. I've struggled with anxiety, fears about the future, moments of depression where I've thought, what is the point? Why am I even trying? I think we all have those moments, whether we talk about them openly or not. I'm comfortable talking about them. Not talking about it felt worse than sharing. One of the most intense times in my life was when I was going through a divorce. As my relationship was falling apart, and I had to come to terms with the fact that somebody I spent almost a decade with didn't want me in their life anymore, didn't want the family, didn't want the house, didn't want the growth in life that I wanted. I was really shaken. My thoughts were incredibly dark. I couldn't sleep. My heart was always racing. I was waking up in the middle of the night with panic attacks. My whole life was about to change, and I didn't know if it was for the better. I was grieving this relationship and friendship that I had for such a big part of my life. The anxiety felt like a wrecking ball in my brain. I couldn't think about anything else. I couldn't figure out how to move forward, and I felt stuck in fear. And there was no reasoning or rationality that could get me through it. You can ask my closest friends. I could not be reasoned with. And then the next year, I lost my mom unexpectedly. And it felt like my world was crumbling even more. I just didn't feel like I was in control of anything. I didn't feel like I had enough time. It brought a sadness I didn't know how to process. I never dealt with these levels of grief before. I had never had someone close to me that literally was a piece of me be gone in an instant without being able to say goodbye. Grief and diabetes don't mix well. The stress affects our blood sugars. Everything in my life felt like it was spiraling out of control. I found myself questioning everything. I found myself questioning my strength, my ability to be resilient and keep going, and even my sense of identity. And I was going forward. For me, one of the hardest parts was feeling like I had to push through alone. Diabetes can be isolating because our condition, while prevalent, is unique to the individual. When the world feels chaotic, it's easy to let those feelings of isolation take over and to crunch back down into our bubble. Hope doesn't just show up on its own. We have to find it. Same with joy. Some days that takes real effort and it takes spoons that you don't have. So I wanted to share a few things that helped me when I've felt at my lowest, and hopefully it helps you find ways to cultivate joy in your own life. First, find the joy. What brings you peace? Is it a hobby, a good book, walking your dog? For me, it's all those things. Cooking helps me slow down and feel grounded. On a bad day, I love chopping vegetables. It's so stress relieving. And if you're not sure what brings you joy anymore, start small. So try something new like revisiting an old hobby, or just take a few moments to enjoy a sunset. Little moments add up. Even listening to music that makes you smile or dancing around your kitchen counts as joy. Also, try and surround yourself with people who help and don't harm. Your community matters. So find people who uplift you, understand you, don't make you justify your experience. It could be a close friend, support group, or online community. If you don't have that support system yet, consider reaching out to local diabetes groups, seek out online forums, or therapy groups. The right people in your circle will make all of the difference when it comes to the joy that you feel. Don't forget to find that internal joy first. Super important. Turn things off when you need a break. Social media, the news, endless scrolling, it can be too much. These platforms exist for eyeballs. They make money is your eyeballs. The way they get your eyeballs is they enrage you. They tell you the mountain of bad news. They make you feel fearful. They make you upset. It's okay to disconnect. Give yourself permission to take a break without guilt. Set timers on your phone to limit screen time, or designate tech-free zones in your home, like during meals, before bedtime. This can help you create healthier boundaries. Even 24 hours away from social media can give clarity and peace, and it brings my heart rate down. Even though my job is social media, having that break is important. Get back to basics. When everything feels overwhelming, I ask, what do I need? Rest, a nourishing meal, a good cry. Going back to simple things can really help. So make sure you're drinking enough water, you're getting outside for fresh air, touching grass, prioritizing sleep, and taking care of basic needs. Lay the foundation for emotional well-being. You can't pour from an empty cup. Starting your day with a mindful routine or a few minutes of pause can set a positive tone for the rest of your day. Of course, it's incredibly important to seek professional support. And I know that not all of us have the ability to afford therapy or afford counseling, but if you can find it, it can make such a huge difference. Therapy, counseling, or even just talking to your care team about how you're feeling can make a world of difference. Just getting it out can help just get it off your chest, and you don't have to carry it alone. Most therapists offer virtual sessions, and some diabetes clinics provide mental health support tailored to people managing chronic conditions. Seek it out. If you need it, professionals are there and ready to help you. Speaking of support, I want to tell you about something that's been a lifeline for me, the Glucose Guide community. As a board-certified health and wellness coach and nutritionist, I've combined my personal diabetes journey with my professional expertise to create a space that truly meets the needs of people living with diabetes. Whether you're feeling overwhelmed, need community, encouragement, ideas for recipes, or just want to vent, Glucose Guide offers science-backed advice, practical strategies, and a supportive community that truly gets it. It's available on iOS and on the Google Play Store. So if you head to glucoseguide.app, you will get everything you need to get started. And I can't wait to welcome you, Diabestie. If you're feeling hopeless, know you're not alone. Take things one step at a time, and remember, hope is out there. Thanks for being here. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one. Stay hopeful, stay calm. You can do this.